Overwhelmed and spread thin. That's the reality for emergency rooms and intensive care units across the state and here in our area. We're getting an inside look into what that is like inside hospitals. A Chattanooga woman says when she went in for COVID treatment and waited for hours in a room with a leaky ceiling and other patients who later tested negative. Liam Collins has her story.
David, this was the same day that COVID hospitalizations in the state of Tennessee reached what was at the time the highest levels of COVID hospitalizations since the spike in the winter. On the day Beth Freeman was admitted here at Erlanger, the state had more than 800 COVID ICU patients. Of those, over 500 were on ventilators, and a state report confirmed that Chattanooga area hospitals only had about 10 COVID ICU beds available, and Freeman believes that now she got the brunt of what was just how busy hospitals in the state are with the rise of COVID cases all over again.
I just want to go home.
This is Beth Freeman 6 hours into her wait to get treated for her COVID-19 diagnosis.
I was in pain. I was exhausted. I felt just despair.
She tested positive for the virus before being admitted to Erlanger's emergency room for an antibody treatment Sunday. She says she sat for most of the day without care. It took 7 hours for her to be discharged.
I can't keep doing it any longer. I'm hurting. I'm tired. I don't want to go home. Monday when I woke up, I was like, oh, my breathing was better. I'm very thankful for them, and I'm glad I stuck it out.
But she says the room she was put in was unbearable. About halfway through her visit, the ceiling started to leak, and 2 other patients were brought in. She found out later one of them tested negative for COVID.
That seemed to be where they were bringing COVID patients. It was my understanding,
Channel 3 brought those concerns to the hospital. An Erlanger spokesperson said the use of separated waiting rooms for COVID patients have become common in hospitals during the pandemic. They also added that patients who could be positive are expected to social distance and wear masks. They also said the leaking ceiling was addressed and repaired. In a statement, the hospital said, quote, "We take this patient's experience and concerns seriously, as quality is an important factor that we focus on throughout the health system. Wait times in our community's emergency departments are longer than normal due to the substantive increase in COVID-19 patients."
I do know. I know I slipped through a crack. I get that. I've seen the toll that it took on them in 2020, and I see this getting even worse.